Well, Sixer Nation, we finally have an update on Joel Embiid. It is not good. We'll talk about the details, but now the question becomes, what does this team do next? We'll break all of it down here on Philly Take with RB.
Perfect.
What is up, everybody? RB here. Welcome into the show. You know the drill. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell so you don't miss any of the coverage. I literally just stepped foot inside and boom, we get hit with a breaking news bomb from Adrian Wojnarowski. We'll get to that and we'll talk about what I believe should happen next because I have a message for a lot of people out there. They're not going to want to hear it. They're not going to like it, but it has to be said. But I want Sixer Nation to drop their thoughts down below. Sound off in the comments right now. What do you think they should do? What should their strategy be next? Do they punt on the season? Do they still try to be competitive? What should their next step be? Should Joel Embiid even return at some point here in the timeline? Give me all your thoughts down below. And before we jump into mine, a shout out to our sponsor of today's video. Shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Southern New Hampshire University. It is 2024, and with a new year comes new goals. If one of your goals this year involves going to college, then I have the perfect opportunity for you. SNHU allows you to turn passion for sports into a degree with their online sports management program. You'll get to learn about the business and economics of sports, sports management principles, and how to gather and analyze data. This degree can help you prepare for a career as an athletic director, sports information director, marketing manager, and even other exciting roles in the industry. You'll get to tap into SNHU's network of grads working in sports-related organizations. You'll even get to take advantage of an internship or experiential learning course within the field. SNHU has one of the largest accredited nonprofit online degrees in the country. They are radically affordable, and their online tuition rates are some of the lowest in the nation. So go down to the description right now of this video, click the link, go to snhu.edu/PhillyTake to request free info about the program and start your new year off on the right path. Upon request, a real person will even hop on a call with you to discuss how the program can benefit you personally. Once again, check it out. Click the link down below, snhu.edu/PhillyTake. All right, man, let's jump into it. So, unfortunately, we got the inevitable, as it feels to me, the breaking news bomb from Adrian Wojnarowski. Breaking: Sixers star Joel Embiid, the reigning MVP, will undergo a procedure this week to repair a torn left meniscus injury, a team official tells ESPN. A recovery timeline is expected after the procedure, but expectation is that he will miss an extended period of time. Now, in a way, this reporting pisses me off because it's like, just tell us, bro. Just tell us he's going to miss 2 months or 3 months. Like, oh, a recovery is expected after a procedure. First it was, we'll hear by Saturday. Then we'll hear by the end of the weekend. Just tell us the inevitable. Tell us what we already know. Okay, it is a serious injury, and they consultated between two different ideas. Do they try to do the rest and rehab and, hope you don't end up poking it wide open and things get worse and just hope you can hang on? Or do you go the more sensible route, take the more sensible route for the guy's health as a human being and get the surgery and hope that it heals down the line? There's been a lot of talk and debate about that the last couple days, but they do elect to go with the surgery. Now, on this thread, I just saw this, a doctor actually commented under the thread, and here's what he said, quote, "If the word repair is being used correctly, that means they are actually performing a meniscus repair, which has a timeline of 4 to 6 months. This is best for long-term results if this is the case." Keep in mind, like, these don't really have blood circulation that well, and like from doing all the research and reading up on it the last couple of days, like we're talking about the man's health being in jeopardy, not just as a basketball player. I'm talking about as a human. Keep in mind, he had the same injury back in 2016. He missed the last 37 games of the year. He played through a torn meniscus against the Hawks in the playoffs. And, you got to keep him in mind first and foremost. So we'll get to that a little bit later on here. But Shams also put out a similar tweet. Woj beat him to it this time. But Shams says, Joel Embiid will have a corrective procedure this week to address an injury to the lateral meniscus. Sources say Embiid's surgery will address a displaced flap of the meniscus. He will be sidelined for extended period of time. We get it with the extended period. He's going to miss significant time. And now that poses 3 questions to me. So when I ask you, what do the Sixers do? I think it comes down to a couple easy questions, all right? And I'll give you my opinion on it. But here's what it comes down to. Number 1, what do the Sixers do at the trade deadline, right? Zach LaVine was ruled out for the season yesterday, and we got some little reports today about a potential buyout candidate signing with Kyle Lowry, and we know that's not going to move the needle or anything like that. The main talk has been, should the Sixers get a third star? Should they go out and try to get somebody, even though there's not that many options out there? Should they try to get maybe DeRozan or DeJounte Murray? Or do they go the role player route? And now after this injury, it's, do they do anything? Do they just kind of let the chips fall where they may? We know Daryl Morey's innovative cap space plan has the Sixers projected to have over 50+ mil in cap space. So they just kind of let it play out, hope that Joel Embiid comes back in the playoffs and they can make a run with their healthy squad? Or do they go and try to get maybe 1 or 2 little pieces and hope that those guys can help, maybe guys that are under contract for the next couple years, so you can still add on some pieces? Or do they still try to go in, make a big push, hope and pray that Joel comes back healthy, and try to make a push for the championship? Because right now, your championship hopes are feeling very bleak, especially with the other injuries. Keep in mind, it feels like this team has had 5 guys injured and out for the last 2 months. Number 2 question here that I have is, can Joel Embiid come back healthy and actually be in shape for the playoffs? Because a couple days ago when everybody said to me, and I thought it was completely idiotic, oh, this is a blessing in disguise. Oh, he's going to come back and be healthy now for the playoffs and be ready to go. There are so many factors that go into that. Number 1, you still have to get back to that chemistry of the team, right? That flow, because with and without Joel, you're playing 2 completely different games. Second, it takes a guy a little bit to get into rhythm. It takes a guy, a little bit to get his feet under him. And we don't know how this injury will impact him. And also his conditioning. We've seen it takes a couple weeks for Joel Embiid to really get in his zone. So that's the second thing I have. And, it's just starting to feel very dim at this point. And I'm not going to keep going back to the revisionist history, but, I am frustrated that he played in that Warriors game. He was already injured, tried to play through it, sustained another injury, should have never been in that game. And hopefully this is another learning lesson, even though they never seem to learn for the Sixers front office and organization. There's no way that he should have been playing that game. And I don't care. You guys can fight me, to the death of it. But he should not have been in that game. He should have been pulled in the first quarter. It's ridiculous. And now you risk the guy's health again. Number 3, can the Sixers stay afloat in the East without him? And I think this is the most important question because, people just seem to think that the rest of the squad can step up. We saw one really fantastic game from Tyrese Maxey. We saw one absolutely out of the gym performance from Tyrese Maxey. And then the next night, he didn't look like he could do anything. Tobias Harris banged up. Melton has been out for like a month. Covington, even they talked to Nick Nurse today about Covington. He said there's no light at the end of the tunnel. What does that mean? Covington's done. All these guys are injured in and out of the lineup. And based on how this Sixers team looks without Joel Embiid, I think we can all confidently say, like, he is, by definition, the by far most valuable player of this league. Like, just with and without him, not even just the offense, but the defense, it's 2 completely different ball games. The Sixers got blown out by the Nets, and now they're going to have to find some holes that they can patch. Maybe they go out and get a backup big or whatever for the deadline, but it's going to be really hard to keep up and stay afloat, especially when you have the Knicks winning how they are. The Cavs are winning. Bucks, obviously, with Doc Rivers will be interesting, but the Celtics seem to be running away with it. There's a lot of teams, and I expect some to get better in the following days. The question is, can the Sixers get that much better to stay above water and tread water until Joel Embiid comes back? It's just a very tough ask. And I'm not trying to be the negative Nancy here, but it almost feels in a way that the season is over. That it's almost better to just kind of go with the flow, see how it plays out, and you go from there in the offseason when you have all this cap space. But I'm going to give a final message here. And as you can tell, I'm almost leaning towards that way. Maybe you make 1 or 2 little moves. You get another center in here to try to fulfill some minutes. And maybe you get like a backup guard, like a Brogdon or whatever. But, you have to hope and pray. Because again, when this Sixers team was healthy, they were really, really, really solid. You just have to hope and pray you can get back to that, led by Joel Embiid. But now with this injury, we don't know if he's going to be the 35-point per game guy even when he comes back. So my message for the Sixers, and I know you guys won't like this, But it's time to shut Joel Embiid down, not only for this team, but for him as a person. Obviously, he was dealing with stuff for a while, for a month or so, and they didn't take good care of him. And now you're risking the guy's health yet again. You have to hope he can come back, not even this season, but I'm talking about in the future. In future seasons, you start to rack up these injuries, it's not going to be good. And not only for his physical health, but his mental health. How do you think he's feeling right now? All the guy does is elevate his game to another level. And every single year, it results in the same outcome of him getting injured in a devastating manner. And it's frustrating and it's annoying. And one more thing I want to say too is that I keep hearing people say, oh, he's out of shape. He's out of shape. Joel might be in the best damn shape of his career. Okay. He's worked to this point. What it is his play style. We are realizing that for a guy that's 7'2", 280, he can't be jumping 5 feet off the floor every play, being used on 90% of the offense and doing it on a nightly basis. As spectacular as he is, as the demand is so great, when it comes to the defense and they have to guard him in every which way and you can't even stop him. As great as the magnitude is of his game, it also comes with the fact that we've never seen a guy of that caliber, of that size, etc., be able to do these type of things. And as he continues to try to do more, it results in more injuries. So maybe the best option going forward is to have him be not a number 2 option, but to, have another guy come in here and take a lot of the load off his plate every single night. That's really all I can think of. It's definitely his play style. It's frustrating. And here the Sixers are with yet another Joel Embiid. Hopefully it's not season ending, but it almost feels like, you're in the pit now. So you got to wait and see and find out what the timetable is. But ladies and gentlemen, I believe if there is any sight of injury, unless he can come back perfectly healthy, all right, and he looks good like himself, it's time to shut Joel Embiid down and take his health into consideration and look towards the future, as Daryl Morey has continued to plan to do. Those are my thoughts. Give me yours down below in the comments section. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. That being said, I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.